So you're a new leader and you're trying to build a strategy for your first 90 days. Now, your first instinct might be to jump right in, start establishing your authority, setting goals, objectives, laying out your communication plans. That's not really it. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to build an incredibly strong foundation of trust with the team before you do all of those really important things that we just mentioned. And we're going to talk about how getting this wrong costs new leaders their team's trust and their own credibility before they even really get started. Welcome to the Honest Leadership series, where we talk about how to become better, more honest leaders in a world that's filled with the opposite. My promise is to give you simple actions that you can take, a real plan for tomorrow, not just some theory to admire. So if that sounds good to you, please consider subscribing. And if this episode helps you in any way, please drop a like before you go. So here's that answer. Your first 90 days really aren't about leading. They're more about learning. Before you say a thing about how you want things run, you need to hold a staff meeting with your entire team and follow this simple process to facilitate that so that your first interaction with your team as a group has a real objective behind it. Before we get into the specifics though, let's talk about why this matters. Your team already has a picture of you before you even walk in the door. There's rumors, assumptions, maybe some anxiety about what's about to change. And if you don't address all of that directly, they're going to fill in the blanks themselves. And it's usually going to be the worst case version of whatever that is. So here's how it actually runs. So first, you're going to send out a short email or announcement meeting notice that you're going to hold your first staff or welcome meeting, call it whatever you want to call it. Along with that announcement, though, send out a set of questions to the whole team that they can go and answer anonymously. You can have HR send this out or use one of those free survey tools you can find online. Just make sure the team knows that it is completely anonymous. That's really the most important part. You can use about 5 to 10 questions. You can come up with your own, or here's some examples just so that you can understand what types of things that we're looking for. What would you like me to know about the team? What are you most concerned about? What help does the team need the most right now? What are you most apprehensive about me as your new leader? What works best about the team? What do you expect out of the first 90 days? And then maybe what's the one thing that you would like me to focus on in the first 6 months? The answers are going to come back anonymously, and then you're going to create a presentation or document, something simple that you're going to use during that meeting. But here's an important piece. Don't just quietly group those themes and then just summarize your responses. You can categorize, but put the raw answers up, the actual words that people wrote, and highlight those key statements. That's what shows your team that you're not hiding behind a survey or bending their answers just to make it easier for you to respond. So during that meeting, start with an introduction about yourself, show some pictures of you, your family, talk about your interest outside of work, and then in detail, lay out your leadership style. But after that's done, you will use the majority of the time to go through the survey responses and address those key themes and statements that came up. You're giving your honest responses here. If you share a concern about something too, say so. This is a facilitated environment that allows them to get to know you and how you respond and handle their questions and concerns. One important note though, resist the urge to solve every concern on the spot. Your job in that meeting isn't to fix everything right then and there. It's to show the team that you heard them and that you're willing to say it back to their faces instead of letting a survey just disappear in a folder somewhere. A team doesn't need you to have the answers in the first month. What they need to know is that you're not afraid to hear their questions. So once the whole team has heard from you together, it's time to sit down with them one at a time. This is where you get to know them, one person at a time. It's their turn for the about me, and you're just listening. Let them tell you who they are. In addition, they may tell you things individually that they would never say in front of their coworkers. Your goal here is to connect with each member of the team, and the only time that you're going to talk is to clarify a question or maybe even repeat something back to them just to make sure that you got it right. That's really it. This isn't a moment for your opinions or your 5-point outline on your vision for the department. This one is just about them. Another instinct that new leaders have is to prove themselves. So they start changing processes or fixing things before they even actually understand why those things exist in the first place. What looks broken to you and from the outside often exists for a reason that nobody's just had the chance to explain to you yet. If you do this and you get it wrong, you're not just making a bad call. You're teaching your team that your decisions aren't based on understanding their work. And this is that mistake that I mentioned from the start. In your first 90 days, you should be mostly learning, listening, removing obstacles, but not really demanding a whole lot of change. That doesn't mean sitting back, though. It means getting genuinely involved in the details of the work. Learn how it gets done. Sit in it. Ask the really dumb questions if you need to. Believe me, your team is going to be more impressed that you are willing to get in the details than they are worried that you didn't already know something. You can always step back to a higher altitude later, but you earn the right to lead from up there by first proving you were willing to get in the trenches and truly understand. Two things that run alongside this. First, know the difference between learning the work and micromanaging it. Remember, you're there to understand, not to hover over every task and control it. And then second, know when to ask your own team for help. It's easy to think that asking a question makes you look weak, but it's really the opposite. A manager who says, I don't know how this part works yet, can you walk me through it, earns more respect in that one sentence than someone who fakes it for a year. Employees don't respect managers who show up with all the answers from day one. What they do respect is the one who's willing to learn enough so that when they start making decisions, they make the right ones. So you have that blueprint for the first 90 days. Show your team that you aren't afraid of their concerns. Get to know them, learn first, and most importantly, don't touch what you don't understand. I really hope this helped you. And if it did, please like or subscribe if you'd like more content just like this. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.